But what a lovely way to welcome me back to Oxford. It's all kicking off now. There's another rod away. Well, I'm finally back on the Syndicate. It's been a good 5 months since I was last here, and it really is good to be back. So whenever I turned up, I had a good look around and I've decided to start on Unity. Now, I haven't seen too much, if I'm honest, but I have seen 2 or 3 fish out here at long range, so they're probably a little bit further than what I'm fishing. I'm at 25 wraps at the minute, and all I've done is I put 3 solid bags out there to begin with, just purely because I don't know who was in the swim before me. I don't know if they've put much bait out, and I don't want to put bait on top of bait, so I'm just going to feel my way into it for now. But say all 3 rods are out there and fishing, so I think it's time to get the first coffee on in the morning. Okay, since I last spoke to you, I've seen about a dozen fish show out there, and I feel like I should have had one by now, if I'm honest. So I've wound all 3 rods in, put fresh bags on them and repositioned them, and my plan will be to leave them out there for this afternoon, and then I'll be nipping to the fan to grab some bait. So I'm planning to put a few spods out this evening for tonight. Probably go in with mostly boilie crumb chops loaded with a lot of liquid, just to try and get as much traction down there as possible. Hopefully that'll be the difference that's needed to start putting a few fish on the bank. Well, just made a couple of changes just before dark, and I've had my first bite. It's not a bad one either. And what a lovely way to welcome me back to Oxford. £30.12. Going to get some photos done, get them slipped back, and hopefully we'll have a few more. What a lovely way to kick the session off. Really happy with that. And a 32, definitely cannot complain. And I did say that I'd made a couple of changes. Now, whether those changes is what made the difference or not, it's probably a little bit early to say, as that fish did come fairly quickly after making them. But I've just repeated the process for now, so fingers crossed there'll be another fish or 2 to come. And it's early on in the evening. It's probably only getting on for about 8 o'clock. And I've heard a few out there too. It's definitely looking good. So hopefully with that little bit of bait in over the top, that'll start getting their heads down and we'll be able to turn 1 fish into 10. But I think I'm going to get something on to eat, warm myself up a little bit. My trousers got absolutely soaked with that last fish, so they're currently hanging up, trying to dry them out. But hopefully I'll see you through the night. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Well, the couple of changes I've made definitely made a difference. Fish number 2 came not long after the last one, so I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully we'll keep the fish coming. Well, that is fish number 3 at mid-20. I think it could be a busy night. Well, good morning. After a busy night last night, the left hand rod went this morning, and I have another fish in the net, including a lot of weed. That's just one of the benefits of fishing with braid. is that when they do get weeded up, you can tend to get them moving that little bit easier. The braid tends to cut through the weed, but we've got them, so let's get them out and have a look. Right, he is being a little bit lively, so I'll make this one quick. It's only about maybe, I don't know, 18, 19 pound, but it's another bite. Happy days. It's all kicking off now. I've another fish in the net, which I'll get out and show you in a second. It caused a little bit of trouble too. It managed to wipe me other 2 rods out, which was a little bit frustrating. But all rods are now back out there. So it seems to be that the changes I've made have made a big difference. So once we get this one out, I'll show you, I'll talk you through what exactly I'm doing. Right, I'm going to try and lift him up here, but he's been going a bit mental. But it's a nice fish, just low 20, but happy days. Get this one back. Well, I was going to sit down and do a little bit to say what exactly I'm doing, but the right hand rod's gone. I've also no spare rigs left, which is annoying. He's found a bit of weed as well. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Right, I'll come back to these in a bit. This one's weeded me up. Oh, there we go. Oh, so close. Didn't like that net. There we go. Happy days. Right, that's another nice result. I've got that fish waiting in the net. Now, I was planning to sit down and go through the rigs and bait and exactly what I've been doing until that right hand rod was away. So we'll get this one out and have a quick look at it, and then after that I'm probably going to wind the rods in. I'm going to nip to get a shower. I need to go to the shop to get a few bits for the next couple of days. But we'll get this one out and have a look at it, and there's another rod away. Always feels like you're playing them forever whenever you're fishing long. So I've got all 3 rods tight on a spot at 100 yards. And I've got 1 rod left in the water, so if we can get this one in the net, which I'm hoping we will, I'll probably let that last rod sit out there for another hour or so to see if we can get another one before I head round for a shower. He's kind of left, at least he's away from that rod. I've had a few problems with them wiping out the other rods, which is frustrating. Don't think he's very big, this one. Alright, where's my net? He's gone onto that rod. Oh, he's a nice one though. A few scales on him. Nearly. Not quite. Go on, get your head up. Well, I think this is fish number 6, and that is a cracking fish. And the other side looks even better. I'll flip him around, you can have a look. And there's the other side. What a lovely fish that is. Right, let's get the next one. And that's the bigger one of the two at 24.12. Right, let's get a quick photo and get you back. Right, just going to take a second to talk about bait and what exactly I'm using. So this is one of the changes that I'd mentioned earlier on. Originally I did start with just solid bags, just because I didn't really know who was in the swim before me and if they put much out, and I didn't want to go and put bait on top of bait. What I'm using is the Bug and the SLK. Now what I'm doing with that is crushing it up. It's a lot of boilie crumb in there, halves and quarters. I've also added a scoop or 2 of the Crayfish mini mix pellet, and I've topped that off with a lot of liquid in both the matching liquid food and the hydro spod syrup. Well, I haven't got a clue what time it is, but how about that for fish number 8? Just a little over 21 this one. I'm going to get a few quick photos done and we'll get this one back. Well, good morning. I'm just having the first coffee of the day, which is more than needed. And after that one last night, nothing else has happened. So what I've done this morning is I've wound all 3 rods in, freshened up the rigs and the bait and buzzed them back out there. I've dropped about 4 or 5 spods over the top as well, just to get a bit of fresh bait in the area, and hopefully that will make the difference. I'm getting liners as I speak,
That's a good thing about fishing braid. Anything that's going on, you really do see everything. But the lake is starting to fill up a wee bit, so hopefully the fish will stay here. I have seen a couple of fish out there this morning, because if it comes to moving, choice of swims will be limited. We're approaching the Easter bank holiday weekend, so I fully expect it to be very busy. But I think for now I am just going to finish this coffee, and hopefully before I do that, one of these rods will go. Just had fish number 9, which is a long common. It went 28.4 this one. It's a lovely fish, that one. Happy days. Did make one change, and so I've done the same thing again, and if that makes a difference, I'll maybe switch all 3 rods to that, and if it works, I'll let you know exactly what that was. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update then. So obviously I haven't had any more fish since I put that last one back, but what I did do for the afternoon was pull all the rods in and rest the swim for a few hours and just give them a little bit of free food. That is something that I have done in the past on here, and it has worked, so hopefully that will be the case. I did have a little bit of a nightmare when I tried to get the rods back out just before dark. Managed to get them all out lovely, and then a trailer or something of some sort came in and wiped them all out, which was a little bit frustrating. But they're now back out there, so I'm confident going into the night we'll be able to pick another fish off. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong at this stage. So hopefully next time you see me, I'll have another fish to show you. It was an uneventful night, but this morning was eventful, but for the wrong reasons. So the left hand rod pulled up, I thought I was away, and I found myself on the wrong end of the bed chair. So I was trying to get out, exit the bivvy through the back. So once I realised that and got to the rod, I picked it up and I was attached to a duck. So I managed to get that in, get that unhooked. He's now sent on his way, much happier than I am. So at that point it was just a good excuse as any to redo all the rods, just get things freshened up. And I have seen one fish out there, it's probably about 20 yards past me. But I don't know what's changed. It's just went really quiet, really moody all of a sudden. I did say that I had made a couple of changes before, and I talked through one of those changes, which was applying the bait and what that bait was. The second one was that I came away from the solid bags and switched to combi rigs, but I'm fishing in quite long because where I'm fishing, although I'm getting a good drop, I think there is a bit of blanket weed there because I'm collecting that on the rigs. So I put the solid bags off, went on the leg clips with a much longer rig, and that was what made the difference to start getting those fish. And I said at this point I've had 9 and I had that 130, so either way I'll be going home happy. For me, I always have a target of a 30 pound plus fish every time I come over here. I've got other targets that I would like to catch obviously throughout the year where I am on Unity. There's 2 in particular that I would love to catch. One is a big old scaly fish that's probably anywhere between mid to upper 30. Potentially could go 40. I think it has done upper 30 in the past, at least the biggest I've seen it. There's some very big ghost carp in here which I've been lucky enough to catch a few of them in the past, up to, I think I've had 2 around the mid-30 mark. But there is a ghostie in here called Apollo that's probably 41, 42 pound. I would love to catch that one. But say if it's gone moody, I don't really want to sit here, just feel like I'm wasting time. It's a long way for me to come over, just to sit and wait it out and hope for the fish to turn up. I would much rather go to them. So I think my plan will be, I'll definitely be sitting out this afternoon in this swim now that I've seen another fish show out there. But I'll maybe give it to about lunchtime. I'll pull the rods in and I'll go for a walk. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'll stay on this lake. Say there is 3 lakes on the ticket. You've got Gaunts, which is down on the bottom end there. Now it's quite high at the minute, so there is only a small amount of swims that are available to fish, because the Syndicate has been closed for probably a good lot of weeks before I came over, and it only recently opened about a week before I arrived. But Unity and Yeomans, all the swims are more than fishable. So chances are, if I can't find something on Gaunts, it could well end up on Yeomans. But I think for now, I'm going to get a coffee on at least anyway. See, I'm getting liners on the right hand rod now, unless it's another bird, which it isn't. But yeah, I'm going to get a coffee on, sit back, just watch the water for a bit.